To understand DITA, you first need to understand structured content. If you've already seen, or after watching this, you go look up our video that answers the question specifically, what is structured content, then you'll see an example of the power of content reuse. I like to say the difference between structured content and unstructured content is the difference between working with clay or Lego. They're both creative media that you can use to make things, but there are key differences. Clay is totally freeform and unrestricted, but it's also messy. It's hard to reuse and hard to collaborate on. Once you've baked it, it becomes rigid. Lego blocks, on the other hand, comply with a standard. They're pieces that are designed to work with any other blocks from any other size.
The starting of this video, you will find the same things which we have already done, but they are just trying to introduce this before going into DITA. They just want you to have a quick recap of unstructured and structured. All right, people?
Set of Lego. The blocks are not infinitely flexible, like clay, but did you know that just 6 8-stud blocks can be combined in nearly 1 billion ways? You can make things and then take them apart and reuse the pieces thousands of times in millions of ways. That makes it easy to mix, match, experiment, and collaborate when working with blocks. When you structure content, each container is a block, which can contain content. You can make one deliverable from your blocks, but then you can easily pull it apart again to make something new. You can make one person a race car and then use the same pieces to make someone else a helicopter. With content blocks, you could take feature descriptions, definitions, product names, calls to action, and more. And you could reuse those to make white papers, product landing pages, email newsletters, blog posts, brochures, documentation, or more. You can make all the blocks you want as long as they fit the standard. That's why structured content is being used today to create everything from product content, content marketing, white papers, articles, ebooks, technical manuals and specifications, help and knowledge systems, custom emails and newsletters, and even learning materials. Multiple case studies show process efficiency improvements with structured content of many tens and even many hundreds of %. Now, how is that possible? It may seem like having to comply with a standard makes things hard or your content less flexible, but it's actually the exact opposite. Structured content defines what kinds of blocks are allowed, what type of content should go in the blocks, which blocks are required, and often the quantity and sequence blocks are allowed to be used in. What's important is that all this is defined separately from the end format that content might eventually appear in, like web, app, or PDF. Content design specialists think about all of your end touchpoints, end user needs, and channels when they help design your content standard. Then you know any content that complies with it works for many channels, audiences, and situations. Because it's a predetermined standard, the structure can be checked by a computer to give authors guidance on how to make sure their content fits your framework. That's opposed to what we usually do today, which is create content for one channel at a time without much guidance or automation. Then we manually rework it all for each new deliverable. This requires a huge effort to keep facts, templates, and messages consistent and up to date. With structure, people can just focus on getting great, concise, helpful content into the blocks. You may take more time to make them originally, but then you could save so much time by reusing them later. Structure keeps your content consistent across teams, projects, websites, and campaigns. You've got a framework that people can trust and use across various situations. When your content is created and managed in reusable blocks, it becomes a content asset. That can be reused for another channel or format, a different audience or geography, a sub-brand, a similar but not identical product, even some channel or situation you hadn't thought of when you first created it, like a smartwatch, an augmented reality headset, or even a chatbot. What is adaptive content?
According to Content Marketing Institute, adaptive content is a content strategy technique designed to support meaningful, personalized interactions across all channels.
That's because the blocks don't just contain content, they contain information about the content. We call this metadata, or more commonly just tags and tagging. Just like when you tag your photos on social media with details like people or location. You're adding extra bits of information to the content's container. Not the photo itself, but the social post. If you downloaded the photo, the tags would be gone. The post was the container that had the tags in it. Structured content carries all its tags with it wherever it goes. This makes it extremely powerful because those tags can be used by any computer system to intelligently process the content. DITA is a standard for structured content that was designed specifically to optimize for reuse, multi-format, and multi-channel publishing. In DITA, there are 3 specific types of block. The main type of block in DITA is called a topic. Topics are intentionally concise and limited to self-contained ideas or subjects. Topics are then arranged in maps. You can think of a map as, well, a map. If you embark on a cross-country road trip, you'll probably need a map to get you the direction, the distance, and the order of landmarks along the way. The map gives purpose and order to a series of landmarks. In the same way, a DITA map gives purpose and order to a pile of topics. That map could be published as a traditional document, but because it's structured content, it could be published as some web pages, a whole website, into an app, or just about anything else you want. Because DITA is a public industry standard, you can get systems pre-configured specifically to help you manage it. The kind of systems that are good at DITA management are called Component Content Management Systems, or CCMSs. A CCMS understands the DITA structures and has value-added features for helping you do things that other systems would not be able to, like see what topics are used in what maps, track how much reuse you're getting across your maps, use special DITA metadata tags to filter out certain blocks for certain conditions, like different audiences, channels, products, or any other reasons you define to change what content gets published. You can also drive your multi-channel, multi-format publishing from a single place at the push of a button, and manage the review, approval, and translation of DITA at a topic level, so that you only have to work on a topic once before reusing it widely. Because you usually have a lot more topics than documents, a CCMS really helps manage all your content and its relationships. The IT in DITA, in fact, stands for information typing. There are three main types of topics. Each is especially helpful at answering specific kinds of user questions. The main ones are concept, reference, and task. First, a concept topic. A concept topic contains answers to what is kind of questions. It helps users learn about and understand a new idea or category of thing. Concepts are used for describing general ideas and things like product category descriptions, term definitions, glossary entries, and feature overviews. For example, I could tell you about the concept of drinking bottles. And I could say drinking bottles are used to carry liquids. They're often made of plastic or aluminum, and they're small enough to be lightweight and fit in a backpack. That's the general concept of a drinking bottle. Concepts have subblocks, like a short description and examples. Now, if I wanted to describe a specific drinking bottle, I would use a reference topic. A reference topic answers more specific "what is it" type of questions. It helps users simply know the facts as conveyed. It's often used for feature lists, descriptions, product specifications, lookup tables, or other factual information. If I was writing a reference topic about this water bottle, I could tell you it's purple, it carries 1.5 liters or 50 ounces of liquid, and has a non-drip top, and a carrying strap. Reference topics also have short descriptions, but they also have subblocks like sections and property sections that help you divide complex information. Finally, and possibly most importantly, there are task topics. A task topic provides how-to or step-by-step instruction for a certain task. It answers "how do I" kind of questions and helps a user follow a series of commands to achieve an intended result. It's useful for instructions, manuals, tutorials, and more. If I were to write a task about my bottle, I could say, before using your bottle, take out all the components from the packaging, install the anti-spill plastic barriers, and rinse well before using. Tasks have short descriptions, like concepts and references, but they have their own special subblocks like context, prerequisites, steps, and results. If your brand sold 10 types of bottle with various materials, capacities, and features, then you could use some topics for all of them, and then others would be unique. But what about when you want to use a little piece of content, even smaller than a topic? DITA provides you with another reuse feature called a content reference, or conref. This allows you to reuse the smaller subblocks within topic blocks. Conrefs are like a smart copy and paste, but it is not the same as copy and paste. When you reference content in DITA, you're reusing it from one place to another. When you're copy and pasting, you're creating two copies that you need to then review, translate, manage, format, and so on. Conref is a simple but extremely powerful way to do precision reuse across your topics. So, we've talked about topics, maps, management, publishing, and reuse. We've also talked about how, because DITA is a structured content standard, it's perfect for augmenting or automating your tough tasks. But at the end of the day, the value of DITA comes down to scalability and control. Content constructed in DITA is built into a framework that allows your content to grow, evolve, and meet your organizational needs. With unstructured content created in wikis, Word, or content management systems that don't really understand the structured blocks, The growth of your organization means the exponential growth of your workload and complexity. Every new market, every new language, every new product, and every new publishing output adds a significant amount of effort and headache. With DITA, content scales and offers tremendous savings with each stage of company or content growth. Topic reuse means that for every new product, you can reuse content wherever you want. New markets are a breeze with specific audience outputs. Managing translations at a topic level means that you only translate, review, and validate a topic once, no matter how often you reuse it. And publishing becomes the gratifying push of a button, rather than a time-consuming headache. For organizations ready to grow, DITA offers a better way to maximize the payoff of every word written. With DITA, your content is ready to deploy.
Okay, so people, did we get some kind of idea? Now see, when we talk about DITA, it's basically talking about the block structure. So if you see, they have also given that example for the structured and unstructured. And then they told you about the three things that are there inside DITA. So every DITA has its own topic, and each topic has three components. And what are they? Do we remember? They were told in the video. Now, after this video, we will better understand the entire concept of DITA, because here they have given you example as well. So just watch it carefully. We will discuss this.
What is DITA? We've talked about structured content in other videos, but the important thing to understand is that structured content is content that conforms to a predetermined standard. Content that conforms to a predetermined standard is intelligible for applications and systems. DITA is a unique kind of structured content. DITA was designed specifically for optimizing the publishing of technical documentation. We'll come back to that, but first, it's good to know how DITA is different. Most systems organize and manage content as documents or pages. These documents are written in a linear way. These ideas within these documents intertwine and overlap. DITA content is written and organized differently. DITA content is written as component parts, which are arranged in maps, and ideally stored in a component content management system. A component content management system lets you manage, organize, and publish content at a component level instead of a document level. This is a massive difference from most systems. Typical content systems have documents filled with entangled ideas that are difficult to separate. But a DITA system uses topics and maps to build documents. A topic is a chunk of content that answers a single question or addresses a single subject, and it is self-contained and modular. Unlike the tangled document in a typical content system, each topic that contributes to the document contains a distinct idea. You can think of these topics like building blocks of larger documents. With these building blocks, content strategists can construct, document, and easily reuse or rearrange their content. There are three main kinds of topics: concept, task, reference. DITA also allows the creation of specialized topics for unique industries and use cases, but these three are the main ones. First, a concept topic. Concept topics are very versatile. They are often used for descriptive information, extended definitions of ideas, conceptual information about materials, product, or process. Honestly, whatever general information the reader needs. A task topic provides the how-to or step-by-step instruction for a certain task. Like I mentioned earlier, topics are intentionally kept concise and limited to self-contained ideas or subjects. This applies to task topics as well. Let's use the example of assembly instructions for a unicycle. Rather than putting all the assembly instructions in a single task topic, there would be a topic for the seat assembly, the wheel attachment, the crank axle, spokes, you get the idea. Remember this unicycle. We'll come back to why this is important. The third type of topic is a reference topic. The reference topic provides specifications about the product. Things like product parts, environmental specifications, commands, API information, pretty much anything that would be represented within a table or bulleted list. All of these types of topics are a terrific method of capturing ideas into distinct components of content. This is where maps become helpful. You can think of a map as a map. If you as a traveler embark on a cross-country road trip, you probably know about some of the landmarks along the route. But you need a map to give you direction, the distance, the order of landmarks, and the whole surrounding terrain. A map gives purpose and order to a series of landmarks. In the same way, A DITA map gives purpose and order to a pile of topics. A DITA map provides order and hierarchy, navigation, like a table of contents, and cross-topic links in the final deliverable. As content creators, we are, in a sense, cartographers, and our readers are the travelers. We create maps that guide the traveler in their journey of understanding. A good map guides a traveler from point A to point B and provides all the relevant information in the correct sequence between these points. In the same way that a road map is essential to a successful road trip, a DITA map is essential to a helpful published document. Remember at the beginning how I mentioned that DITA is specifically designed to optimize the publishing of technical documents? This is where that comes into play. DITA is different from other TechCom methods. Rather than formatting content as you create it, DITA content is automatically formatted when it's published. And you can publish this to as many outputs as you like. Portal, PDF, mobile app, website. With DITA, multi-channel publishing is as easy as the push of a button. But the advantages of DITA don't end there. Remember our unicycle with all of its unique parts? The reason we use concise, self-contained topics is because DITA allows content reuse. Content reuse is not copying and pasting. When you reuse a topic, you're actually referencing an original, not replicating it. If you have 10 unicycles and they all use the exact same axle crank assembly instructions, you can reuse that topic in all 10 documents. Cool. But now let's say that your axle crank sourcing has changed and you're using a new manufacturer. Make your update to the original topic and the update will populate in every document you've reused that content. And now that you've made the change, you probably have to republish your documentation. No problem. But why does this matter? The value of DITA comes down to scalability and control. Content constructed in DITA is built into a framework that enables your content to grow, evolve, and meet your organization's needs. With unstructured content created in help authoring tools, wikis, or Microsoft Word, the growth of your organization means the exponential growth of your workload and complexity. Every new market, every new language, every new product, every new publishing output adds a significant amount of effort and headache. With DITA, content scales and offers tremendous savings with each stage of company growth. Topic reuse means that for every new product, you reuse content effortlessly. New markets are a breeze with audience-specific outputs. Translation memory means that you only translate a topic once, no matter how often you reuse it. And publishing becomes a gratifying push of the button, rather than a time-consuming headache. For organizations ready to grow, DITA offers a better way to maximize the payoff of every word written. With DITA, your content is ready to deploy.
Okay, so did we understand, people, the basic, the example that he took for the unicycle? Let's discuss about the basic concept. Now that we have seen the video, we have seen the examples, we'll quickly go through the DITA tool, that what it is and how, what all things are there. So some things we have already seen in the video, so we will understand it better. I hope the screen is visible, which says DITA tool. Now, when we talk about DITA tool, first of all, that comes into mind is what is DITA? So DITA, if you go ahead and see the full form, it is Darwin Information Tapping Architecture, named after the person who invented it, Darwin. And then it was initially developed by IBM. And then afterwards, it was taken over by OSS. So this is the Information Standard Committee, which takes care of DITA now. So basically your DITA is an XML architecture. So it's not a tool, but a whole concept, a whole architecture, which basically works on XML. Okay, now we can use it for publishing, we can use it for producing, for delivering, but everything will be topic oriented. So your entire thing will be considered as blocks of topics that we are talking about. Information typed content that may be reused and single sourced. So you have single source. That means whenever, whatever changes you are making, you have to make one place and then everywhere it will reflect. Like the example that they gave. Remember that unicycle example? Right. Now let's see. This is just a history of DITA. These things will help you in cracking the somewhere you have these written tests as well for the for technical writing. So nowadays they are stressing on keeping written test as well, and then they have this assessment followed by instant, they will ask you to quickly prepare steps for certain things or a document. So all that is asked from a technical writer to do. Now, this is the entire history. Initially, it started in 2000. Then in 2004, it was taken over by OSS. We had one version in 2005, and now you are getting many versions. Currently, I think it's 3.6, but maybe it is updated now. So, every 3 months, 6 months, you will get an updation from DITA, the current tool that is being used, or the current open source environment that we use. So that can change. But yes, whenever you will start working with a company, they will provide you with all these details, with all those tools. But then yes, the basic concepts should be clear. Okay, now again, they have talked about XML. Why they are stressing? Because XML is the basic coding architecture behind the entire DITA thing. So that's why we should know about XML. So we already have talked about it. We will not go into detail. We talked about it as XML has different attributes, their values. You can see a small coding given here, right? So it's like the root structure is family, and then under family we have a nested structure like father name, mother name, then children, and then so basically the entire nested structure can be made through XML coding. Okay, benefits, we already discussed that day as well, that they are not platform dependent, so it can be easily used. You can have just the files, the executive files, and you can run them in any environment, right? The same piece can be reused, can be reformatted. So XML is easier to use when we talk about structured documentation. Now, why XML is used for technical documentation? Because it is not document centric, it is data centric. So you remember in the video, it says that it doesn't do changes at the document level, but at the entire component level. So that is why it is more effective. Okay. Now, there can be two open source standards. Open source means the kind of environment that you can use for structured content. Now, one is your dogbook and another one is DITA. Now, we go for dogbook in many organizations where we have low skill, low budget projects going on. We don't need a lot of cost on the structured. So dogbook is only used for linear content. That is like a book or an article wherein you don't have many nested structure. Yeah. So that that complexity is not there. So there we can just use dogbook. It will be obviously less costlier than it will be in terms of money also. Dogbook is cheaper than DITA. But then yes, according to the use, every organization can either use dogbook or DITA as the requirement is, right? So dogbook is basically for books and articles, and for other things we use DITA. So this is how they show you how DITA works. So in the very first line, see, it says DITA breaks down into simple self-contained chunks. That means every topic is complete in itself. So you can always lift one of the blocks and use wherever you want, because it is a self-contained block. That is why that component content management system is, that word component means that within one block, everything is complete in itself. Okay, now it says that the core of DITA has topic DTD. So DTD, that is document type definition. So wherever the kind of definition that you see, internally it has been coded in XML. Okay, so first we have the three topics, that is concept, one concept task, then we take them through the DITA map. Now, what is DITA map? It basically converts all your blocks that you have created into a tree structure. So whatever hierarchy you need, you just have to drag, drop, and create a DITA map. So DITA map is nothing but a complete hierarchy. So imagine your Word document wherein you yourself go ahead and do it, right? Heading 1, heading 2, and then you do it in the entire document. But here what we do, we create different file for introduction, different file for methodology, and so on, different file for conclusion maybe. And then all of them can be put in different hierarchy, whatever we need. And that hierarchy can be changed also just by dragging and dropping. So it becomes very easy for the structured thing. So it has three basic types that we have already seen: task, concept, and reference, and then they are put into maps. So earlier, when we talked about information mapping, there were things like procedure, process, structure, concept. Now, before DITA, it used to be very complicated. Now, if you see in the bullet list, there are around 12 information types. So like conceptual, error, reference, glossary. Now, then they found that in DITA, it was very easy. You only have to use 3 topics and your work is done. That's why in DITA, we use only 3 and all of them are contained in these 3 only. So we can actually just subdivide into 3 parts and then put all the headings either in concept or in task or in reference. Okay, now you can use the DITA specialization to customize the fundamental information. So DITA, basically it has a lot of features wherein you can use them, you can make many changes, and if you have any updations in the future, it is easier to work in DITA rather than in the unstructured one. It focuses on a certain set of requirements, but yes, when you are working with DITA, your structures, your sentences, they have to be simple, just like we have talked about that in technical writing, we should have small and comprehensible sentences that can be used, right? Okay, now the first one is your concept topic. So it says that concept topic gives you the background or the overview. So whatever topic you are working on, the basic background information is given through concept topic. Now, in concept topic, you cannot have task or reference information. So you have to remember that in concept topic, you should have only the information related to the background or overview, not the step-by-step process, not the detailed product description, because for that we have different block. Okay, so we don't have to mix the blocks. Okay, now concept topics are the restrictions that following a section or example are only other. So they just want to say that each block is self-contained and you should create it on a modular level. That is, you should not have a different nested structure in same block. Otherwise, you will not be able to reuse it, right? So let's say that we just want to use the introduction part. So we should make that introduction as a separate block, right? Overview as a separate block, not like everything in the one in same. Otherwise, it will again convert into an unstructured one. All right. So that we have to remember. Okay, then this is a basic structure that it looks like. When you go internally in the XML coding, you will find something like this. Okay, but again, as I said earlier also, that when you're using the blocks, basically when you're using the tools, this will automatically be created. So you can just have a view in the XML Oxygen editor. That is the editor that we use for the XML coding. But in the tool, everything is GUI based and it's user friendly, and you can use it in a more comprehensive way. I hope we are getting the point, huh, people? Now, second one is your task topic. Again, only the steps, wherever the steps thing is there you will create the task topic. You will not mix it with either concept or reference. Okay, so that you have to remember. This is something, the structure for the task one. Okay, the XML, internal XML structure. The third one is your reference topic. We will only take reference topic when we want to give the product information. So basically, normally when we create a reference topic, it is more in the form of a tabular thing. Because obviously when you are giving a product description, you can easily give it in a tabular form. Yes, people? Am I correct? So a lot of list, tables, and infographics is the part of reference, because reference is basically used to define a product. So that's why a lot of infographics is something which you will find under reference. But again, the same thing, that you don't have to mix concept and task topics in this. Okay, this is how it looks. So under reference body, you will have a lot of examples, a lot of sections, so a table. Okay, so all this will be the part of your reference. Okay, now why do we emphasize a lot on reuse? Why are we going ahead and using the DITA? Why not just use the Word document? So that's what they are saying, that why we do this. Why? Because the topic based approach is used to reuse the content. If you want to use it again in the future, only it is possible through the concept of DITA. Topics can be reused in a variety of situations. So there are so many permutation combination possible. You can just take one chunk and use it anywhere you want. Okay, so that's why we go for the for this thing. Okay, now the next thing, after you have created the DITA topics, the next thing is your DITA map. Okay, now DITA map, what does it do? It creates a hierarchy and sequence. So more like a table of content. Okay, so once you have all the topics in the form of a file, now what you will do, you will just drag and drop and create that tree structure. So that entire file is known as DITA map. Okay, now if you want, you can reuse the entire DITA map also, or if you want, you can use one particular topic also. So see how easy it is, right? Now if you use the entire DITA map, what will happen? Let's say that we have DITA map 1 and DITA map 2, and we are using the entire DITA map 1. What will happen if I am using the entire DITA map? What will happen if you reuse the entire DITA map? It will take the entire hierarchy to that document. Okay, because DITA map is what? The entire tree structure. So it will take that entire structure and copy it you can reuse that there. But if you use only the topic, then you can do that also, right? So both the things are possible. Either you can go for the entire tree structure, or you can go for a single topic. I hope this is clear, huh, people? Now reuse, it happens for the industry specific requirements. Now, not like I said, every organization would not go for DITA. Some would go for doc book also, because if they only need for book publishing or linear content, why to waste a lot of money? Because these are all paid version tools and their licensed versions are very costly. So on organization level, we use it if we have such kind of requirement. Okay, so this is how it goes. Now this is the typical flow chart, you can say, or the hierarchy that it helps. So first of all, there is a type. Then we have three things: concept, task, and reference. Under task, we can have different things, and under reference, we can have different. So reference basically talks about everything related to the product. So here they have talked about a software kind of a thing. That's why you see a lot of software terms, technical terms. Okay, now reuse, why is it good? We have already discussed it. Number one, there is no need to reinvent the wheel. That means you don't have to go ahead and work on it again and again. There is one part that you work and then you reuse it. Secondly, yes, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that your sentences should be short and simple, so that when you use them, you want to edit them, it is easier to use, because this is the whole coding part that we are doing. So the sentences or the concept that we are putting should be not very much complex. Interoperability, that means yes, it is possible for you to have an entire nested structure when you are using DITA. Hierarchy is possible. It saves time and also gives the customer information which is more comprehensible. So this is how DITA works and DITA map works. Consistency has to be there, of course. We have to see that it is consistent in both in the standard form and in the changed form, right? So all that has to be taken care. But yes, it will basically help you out in the entire costing issue. Okay, reuse of the process. Now again, everything can be reused. Reuse of the content can be done, reuse of the process can be done. So everything which is related can be reused. Okay, all right. So I hope we got kind of an idea what DITA is related to structured content. Yes, people?
Hello everyone. Simply navigate to the top right and click I'm done. If you have not marked all the assigned items as complete, a warning will pop up informing you that there are still documents left to review, and at this point, you can leave a comment with any relevant feedback. If your step is the final step in the assignment workflow, there will be a checkbox that lets you also mark the assignment as resolved. And congratulations, you've just completed your first workflow review assignment. With Easy DITA, review cycles are no longer the bottleneck to a document lifecycle. To see how Easy DITA powers the other stages of document creation.
Okay, so this was basically for the review process. Now, you would have seen that in the Word document, it was so difficult, right? We have to change the tracks, then we have to put the comments. Here, for each block, I have different kinds of facility as a reviewer also, and as a technical writer also, right? So you can actually put comments, and everything will be tracked there. So everything will be available on the right hand side. The window is available wherein you can see all the changes, all the comments that have been done for the entire data also, and for individual topic also.